An attempted coup, a brazen attempt, as one riot to put it shortly after January 6th, to overthrow the government.
Those who invaded our Capitol and battled law enforcement for hours were motivated by what President Trump had told them, that the election was stolen and that he was the rightful president. President Trump summoned the mob, assembled the mob, and lit the flame of this attack. Attorney General Barr also told President Trump that his allegations about Dominion voting machines were groundless.
I saw absolutely zero basis for the allegations, but they were made in such a sensational way that they obviously were influencing a lot of people, members of the public, that there was this systemic corruption in the system and that their votes didn't count and that these machines controlled by somebody else were actually determining it, which was complete nonsense. And it was being laid out there, and I told them that it was crazy stuff and they were wasting their time on that.
This is the president's daughter commenting on Bill Barr's statement that the department found no fraud sufficient to overturn the election.
How did that affect your perspective about the election when Attorney General Barr made that statement?
It affected my perspective. I respect Attorney General Barr. So I accepted what he was saying.
We need backup. My kids didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution. Bring out peace. Bring out peace.
President Trump gave no order to deploy the National Guard that day, and he made no effort to work with the Department of Justice to coordinate and deploy law enforcement assets. But Vice President Pence did each of those things. For example, here is what General Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, testified to this committee.
There were 2 or 3 calls with Vice President Pence. He was very animated, and he issued very explicit, very direct, unambiguous orders. He was very animated, very direct, very firm, and to Secretary Milley. Get the military down here, get the Guard down here, put down this situation, etc.
By contrast, here is General Milley's description of his conversation with President Trump's Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, on January 6th.
He said, we have to kill the narrative that the Vice President is making all the decisions. We need to establish the narrative that that the President is still in charge and that things are steady or stable or what's that thing. I immediately interpret that as politics, politics, politics. Red flag for me personally, no action.
When I fell behind that line and I can just remember my breath catching in my throat because what I saw was just a war scene. It was something like I had seen out of the movies. I couldn't believe my eyes. There were officers on the ground, they were bleeding, they were throwing up, I saw friends with blood all over their faces. I was slipping in people's blood. I was catching people as they fell. It was carnage.
We take our oath to defend the United States Constitution, and that oath must mean something. Tonight, I say this to my Republican colleagues who are defending the indefensible. There will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain.
Take me to the king. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn in pieces. It's my offering. Take me to the king. Truth is, I'm tired. Options are few. I'm trying to pray, but where are you? I'm all churched out, hurting, abused. I can't fake what's left to do. Truth is, I'm weak, no strength to fight, no tears to cry, even if I try. But still my soul refuses to die. One touch will change my life. Take me to the king. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn in pieces. It's my offering. Lay me at the throne. Leave me there alone to gaze upon your glory and sing to you this song. Please take me to the king. Truth is, it's time to stop playing these games. Oh, we need a word for the people's pain. So Lord, speak right now, and it fall like rain. I'm desperate, chasing after you, Jesus. No rules, no religion. I've made my decision to run to you, the healer that I need. Take me to the king. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn to pieces. It's my offering. Lay me at the throne. Leave me there alone to gaze upon your glory and to sing to you this song. Lord, we're in the way. We keep making mistakes. The glory's not for us, it's all for you. Take me to the king. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn to pieces. It's my offering, and I leave me there. I wanna gaze upon your glory, and I sing to you this song. Take me to the king. 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 Hey, hey, no, 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 yeah. Yeah, keep on worrying. World, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh no. Cowards keep on lying, while your people they keep on dying. Yeah. World, keep on turning, 'cause you know it won't be too long. Yeah. Said I'm alright, glad he let me try it again. 'Cause the last time I love, I learned the whole world does it. Said I'm alright, glad I know more than I know things. Gonna keep on trying, yeah, till I reach for higher ground. Yeah, 'cause no one's gonna let me down. Yeah. Higher ground, yeah. Reach for higher ground, yeah. Reach for higher ground. Oh, no.
I can already see the backdrop.
And see, she already ready. And the question is, can you handle the trouble?
Answer me now. I'm asking you a question.
Yeah. Guys, we're here. It's a beautiful Sunday. A busy one. It's a busy day.
Oh boy, yes.
Whew, you have no idea what it took to sit here in front of you today, but the blessing is I am here. She is here. We are here. And if you are looking at us as we are looking at each other, we are already blessed and highly favored. And half the battle is already won because we've made it. We've made it. We made it. We woke up this morning. I am your host, Dionne Johnson. I got my bow tie. Again. It ain't going
Dionne
nowhere.
looking cute. Isn't she looking cute today, everybody?
It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. The tie's not going nowhere. Did they tell them how long I'm going to be wearing it? I'm wearing this through the month. I'm wearing this through the month, people.
And who gave you that tie? Who gave you that tie?
My girl. Denise. Marie Harris. My co-host. The Lena Horn of my time. Y'all don't hear me. The girl got me in pink. That's what she done did for me. Now I'm pretty in pink.
That's right.
Don't adjust nothing. If I fooled you, I'm doing a good job because I am a woman. And I'm pretty in pink with my pride bow tie.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Hold my head up.
And the pink is to represent your big heart.
See? See what she do for me? Do y'all see what she do? And she know that's her. She know I'm the one that act the fool. That's why she buttered me up. And then when I show them, who I really am, she gets all sophisticated and I'm over here looking all crazy as hell. Then said some shit I can't take back. Looking at her to clean up my mess. Because I done took trouble to a whole nother level. Guys, I know you saw the footage that we played in the beginning. Why do we do it? To educate you. Because it's been so long, if you're like me, and I still stay on top of politics, and so does my lovely co-host. This is what we do. But if you're like us, we still can sometimes, January seems like a million minutes away, gazillion minutes. So I need to jolt your memory. We wanted to jolt your memory on the insurrection that took place January 6th. Because this was no joke. Our democracy was and still is at risk.
Yeah.
This was horrific. And if you had any emotion, matter of fact, let me take a minute and let the Lincoln Party tell you something. You know how they do.
This just unearthed footage.
The MAGA party knows what the 1-6 hearings will reveal.
And the louder they get, the more guilty they sound.
What are you talking about? This is stupid.
A criminal conspiracy to overthrow the United States of America on January 6th came from the top. From the man who controls the GOP with an iron grip.
Don't concede when there's theft involved.
Carried out by his aides, his so-called lawyers.
We have to forget about the law.
His allies, and his violent mob pushed by his media partners.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
It's time to focus, to hold the line, and hold them accountable. The 1-6 committee needs to stop playing the polite old Washington game and crack down hard on the traitors who tried to destroy America.
Insurrection!
Because these hearings aren't about politics or party. They're about America's future. They're about a world that's run by you or them.
You can always count on the Lincoln Party to help you see fools. Guys, real quick, what we want you to do is take a minute. If you're on YouTube, we want you to subscribe. Subscribe.
Hit like.
Hit the notification button. Make a comment. What else? And share with a friend. Like me and my friends share our time here with you. So it is subscribe, like, comment, and show some love by sharing it.
We're becoming the handle and trouble nation.
Come on. Cause we here. And if you see me and you, when you see me, can you see me, Denise, like I see you?
I see you.
So when y'all see these two faces, get the dictionary. Tears of happiness. Look up trouble. Here we are. I'm a hope of all time. Lena Horne got her beautiful blouse on. She just laying back all elegant and then cut, waiting. I'm sitting here like, I'm just so happy. Just so happy to be in the family.
You look lovely. You look lovely. Cut it out.
Guys, we got work to do. We could do this all day because this is the fun we have, but we know when it gets serious. I wanted to show you really quick, Denise, and I wanted to show you who your guilty ass people were. And I think the Lincoln Project, that was a beautiful thing they put together. As usual. Guys, we titled this show, They're all guilty. They're all guilty. They just started the hearings. And if I was in court, the judge would tell me to sit my ass down. Because I'd be up saying, y'all, when we say they're guilty. Sit down, Miss Johnson. Sit down. But y'all, when I say they're guilty. But see, we see. We don't just see with our eyes, we see with our heart and with our mind that this was wrong. But we got to reach the people to make them understand this is your democracy.
The thing that strikes me is that Americans need to connect the dots. We see everything as a snapshot rather than a journey. When I was watching the January 6th hearings last week, first of all, I will never use the word insurrection again. That was a coup. That was a failed coup. One of the dots that got connected for me was I never understood what they were inferring when they said that Pence refused to get in the van with the Secret Service. I didn't get it. I said, did he think they were going to kill him? That's what I thought. Now I understand. The plan was get Pence in the van so the Secret Service can drive him away because Grassley was ready to take over and say the election was not true and that Biden is not the president, because the day before Grassley sent out a statement that we're going to take care of this because I'll be in charge. Why would he assume that if they weren't in the plan that they were going to get Pence out of there? This was not an insurrection. This was a failed coup.
Tell the people real quick
the words are
what
important.
A coup is.
When you overthrow a duly elected government.
Y'all hear about it like with Turkey and things. I just want people to know because I want you to be with us. So we want you to elementary understand what we say.
Good point. Why else do you think Fox TV did not show any commercials, but ran their regular programming? They didn't run commercials because they didn't want their viewers to have a reason to check out ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and MSNBC while the commercial was on. Why? Because they were named. They were named as sending emails and text messages and participating. The other thing to understand is that when Trump debated Biden and he told the Proud Boys to stand by, and stand down,
Mm-hmm.
their membership enrollment increased by 300%. Because all those little white supremacists hiding under rocks all of a sudden said, what? There's a movement for us and a name for it? I'm signing up. Hate crimes, according to SPL, Southern Poverty Law Center, increased by 44% in the last year.
Yeah, because 2 years ago, right before COVID, it was at 38.
Connect the dots, folks. Stop looking at everything like it's an individual snapshot, because if you don't understand the whole picture, you don't know how to argue and defend why this hearing is so important. And it's very important. It's important to be informed. Yes, crime, abortion, gasoline, no baby formula, all of that stuff matters. But you know what? If the wrong administration is in office, you think you got problems now, you ain't begun to suffer as an American in this country.
Basically, for me, just looking at the things that are going on in Ukraine with Putin being the dictator that he is, looking over to another country upset because they're growing as a democracy, and having the middle guard to say, okay, I'm going to take this over because my people are watching this, and Abby, damn, I'm getting older. They will definitely, I will have a coup on my hands. So let me go over and do this, because it's more for destruction and fear than anything, which is also what the Republican Party is running on, fear.
Putin had always planned, like you're saying, to go after Ukraine. He just held back, waiting to see what the outcome of the election was. If Trump had won Ukraine, he'd already be sitting in the presidential palace of Ukraine, because Trump was already against Ukraine, because Zelensky would not come out against Hunter Biden, if you recall. So what Putin is doing, okay, so the oil shortage is partly because of Ukraine and the oil reserves that Putin has shut down from coming out and us receiving any. But the other reason why there's an oil shortage is because ExxonMobil has 9,000 permits to drill oil in the United States, and they are not drilling at all. We don't have to have this shortage. They're refusing to drill the 9,000 permits they've already gotten. Why? Because last year to this year, they doubled their profit. They made already what was the number I read? $5.48 billion in profit. Who needs to make that much profit? They doubled their profit by not putting more oil in the market. And when the Democrats came up with legislation called the Consumer Fuel Price Gouging Act, because they know prices are being gouged, 203 Republicans voted against it. Okay? Wow. Now, there are enough, that slim margin of Democrats got it passed through, but now it's sitting in the Senate. Will it pass? That's doubtful. Unless people stay in the streets, because these Republicans are bought and sold by the oil companies, the gas companies, the NRA. They should have to wear jackets with all the different corporations that contribute to them.
They should. You being funny, but they should. Or That's me. I'm the kind of media. Let's throw that every time one of them face come up. If I had that kind of control, I'd put for instance, say I saw Ted Cruz. The minute you see Ted Cruz's face, if I was as big as MSNBC, you wouldn't be able to see his face, but I'd have every person he's been bought by. So that you understand. You understand what I'm saying? You have a full understanding. The only reason they're talking about this gun law, and you know this and you saw this, is because so many corporations are now wanting to pull back. Big corporations, your McDonald's, your Walmarts, your big corporations are saying, unless you guys do something about gun control, we cannot risk the people turning on us. So this is about money, with the fact that they're even trying to come on an agreement with something.
Well, your boy Ben Crump, the first day that the parents in Uvalde had a press hearing, he was sitting right behind one of them.
I told you that. I told you. We told him. We've been calling him. He's sick of us.
He's joining them in that lawsuit that he started in Buffalo against the gun manufacturers.
Now you go after the Uvalde, because something needs to be done about the police. Y'all need to demand that the chief of police, along with whoever else that was behind this, because some of these kids could have lived. This time slot is beyond sickening. It's beyond sickening. If y'all want to know who he is, Denise, do we mind getting in bad trouble, good trouble, doing some bad things to get in good trouble?
Why not?
What the hell? Can I do it? Why can we call out a son, as old folks in the South, a son bitch? Guys, we call it out a son bitch. That's what he is. And that is your chief that failed these children. Why y'all, that's right, y'all Texas, why y'all letting him walk around? He shouldn't be able to go out and get a jug of milk. Seriously, without a question. You don't have to hurt him. Throw words at him. Throw words at him. Why did you let these children die? Why didn't you try to save these children? Oh yeah, because he said that. He didn't have his walkie-talkie. Pete Arredondo. That's like me not having my cell phone. That's him, guys. Pete Arredondo. Denise and I are going to finish talking. And don't worry, we coming back with Jenny. And we're going to definitely come back with her husband, Mr. Clarence Thomas. Don't you worry. We're equal opportunity haters here. So don't worry. We'll be back now. You hear? Y'all don't even know us. Guys, Denise brought up something. My co-host brought up something great. His story is changing. She's right. Why? Why is his story changing? You either did or you didn't. It's like being a little pregnant.
But he didn't do anything even when he went in.
No, they didn't.
So who cares?
The only thing we care about, guys, is that justice is served for these parents and family that's left behind that will never be the same. And there is no dollar amount that can make anybody get over the loss of somebody. But God damn it, still give them something. And Crump, you stay next to them like, I'm serious, like a bead of honey.
Well, not to move too far off, but so yesterday there were marches, March for Our Lives, for gun reform in more than 300 locations nationwide. LA had like 8 different ones scattered, Pasadena, Culver City, so on and so forth. And then this morning, the Senate, that's been trying to come up with some kind of legislation, they introduced a framework. And And in the framework, I wrote it down. What did it say? But in the framework, they said they're going to work for incentives. They're going to give states incentives to create red flag laws. They're going to increase background checks, to create a national data bank of if you're flagged in this state, you'll be flagged in every state of not able to buy a gun. They're going to include legislation that would increase school safety and mental health services. But let me tell you what it didn't have. It didn't have anything me and you want. It did not include a ban on assault weapons.
Mm-hmm.
It did not include a ban on high capacity magazines. It did not include a minimum age to buy AR-15 type rifles. And it did not include a ban on universal background checks. It did not include you had to have a universal background checks. So I feel like they got together and said, here, throw them something so they'll shut the hell up.
But we're not.
And I'm listening to people, talking heads on TV saying, well, it's a beginning.
Go ahead, Lena.
If you buy that's a beginning, then I got some stock in Brooklyn Bridge I want to sell you.
Ooh, can I sell my stock? I got some stock too.
Beginning, I find it not a beginning, but insulting. That, like they're saying, well, we'll take anything. Shame on you. Shame on you. In Iowa yesterday, a neighbor saw a U-Haul truck with men going in and out with masks on and the same clothing. Everybody was dressed the same way and shields. And they got concerned and they called the police. The police went to the U-Haul truck, opened it up. There's 31 white supremacists in there. Did I write the name of the group down? Proud Nation, I think, or Pioneer or Patriots or some crazy name. 31 of them. What they found in there were guns and shields and smoke bombs and a detailed map of how they were going to start a riot at the Pride Festival coming up. And they got arrested and it got stopped because one person said something's wrong with this. But understand, this is not a game out here. And we better make sure we always come full circle to this. We better make sure we're putting the right people in office. So that, because all this stuff we're talking about, none of it's going to pass the filibuster. And who's holding up the filibuster? Manchin and Sinema. They got, in my mind, blood on their hands.
They have blood on their hands, on their feet, on their clothes. You know that when we watch a lot of CSI shows, that all of us do, watch the movies, the little TV shows. You know how they go and they cut the light off and they shine that light to find blood? Yeah. And then spots light up. I just really feel like if I walked up on them with the right light, you understand what I'm saying? That's all you would see. And I don't know how you sleep at night. Let me say, this is why I asked how you sleep. Them, not us, you. With what happened in Buffalo, and this is just being current, because, honey, we could go back. Right. Then I saw what happened with Uvalde. My soul couldn't rest.
Right.
And I had not bought one gun, to harm anyone, drove nowhere, did anything to bring any harm to anyone, would never done anything but to help someone. But my soul couldn't rest at the innocent lives lost. And had I been half as guilty as you guys are, you get what I mean? Joe Manchin, you too. You a fake ass Democrat. fake ass human being. And at the end of the day, how you guys manage to sleep? Oh, on your money? That's your pillow? On your money. Oh.
These are wealthy people. These are wealthy people. This is the man who didn't want to continue the increased unemployment because he said it's an incentive for people not to go to work.
That was during the heart of COVID when they didn't even have a vaccination.
Right.
That part right there. Guys, let me tell you something. We do this because we care. Denise and I are in California. There are going to be some crazy things. But we have a little bit of more leeway than you guys do on some things. We really do. The chance of someone having the moxie to get together 35 or 40 people in a U-Haul to try to come down and mess up a Pride Festival in California, I'm being real. It's not negative. People, you are going to have to make some harsh, strong decisions. You're going to either have to keep living that same old country-ass way you've been living. And I'm going to separate from Lena right now because I don't want nobody to harm her. She got to, this ain't her. This ain't her. I ain't talking New York or, Harlem into this. I'm in the South right now. And the most Lena probably know about that is passing through the dance or tip her hat. Don't worry. Your way is your destruction. Your way is your destruction. I'm speaking it with truth because you have these old values and they're still built around fear and around I don't give a fuck. And that's a good methodology or a good mixture of an ingredient for more destruction. Not, a cure or a fix. Your fix is getting out of your comfort zone. Knowing now that it does not matter that you're Arkansas, that you're Alabama, that you're Tennessee. You can be a state that you have people that represent you that really give a fuck. You hold that power in your vote. This is past being a black-white issue. When children are dying, this is not, yes, the guy went in Buffalo and killed black people. Uvalde may have been one thing, but guys, we can reach out and scream. When you look up mass murders, the majority of them son of a bitches is white.
How can you say you are against women having abortions, but it's okay for an 18-year-old to have an AR-15 when the majority of mass murders have been committed by young white boys under 21?
On top of
where is your mind that you don't see the contradiction? If you're pro-life, be about the life that's on this earth right now.
The mothers that had these children that right now that are crying over the loss of their lives.
Chris Rock said something very interesting. I'm gonna find that clip for us. He said, don't bother with taking away the guns. Make the bullets expensive. Mm-hmm. Oh, you want these bullets? They're $100 each.
One bullet gonna cost you $100, $150.
Make the bullets expensive. You can have all the guns to play with that you want. We're just gonna make the bullets hard to have.
Now that's something the gun makers may do. May do. Because if you ain't got no bullets, you just got a gun. And that sounds crazy, but it's real. I never thought about that. Chris Rock, good job. Good job, Denise. That was a good one. Honest to God, that was a real good one. Guys, inflation. Now, we can stay here forever. We're going to keep watching these hearings. As Denise said, I'm going to repeat and piggyback on her for 1 second. As you watch these hearings, like she's saying, make sure that you're watching this in a vision where you're not blocking things off. Take everything into consideration. Even take a moment and ask yourself one question. Promise us you're going to ask this one question as you're watching these hearings. What if they had succeeded?
Trust me, we be in a civil war right now.
And keep asking and really think about that. And research it. What had they succeeded? Type that into Google. If the coup that was staged, because she's right, it was a coup that was staged for January 6th. What if it had succeeded? If they said that don't change your mind, heaven help you.
And let me tell you, they're not giving up. They are not giving up. And I don't want to sound like a conspiracy nut, but we need to clean house in the Secret Service, in the FBI, and in all the local police stations. We need to clean house. We know who those white supremacists are. We need to clean house. We need to stop being naive. But we need to, I hate to keep saying this, we need to elect the people. If you're going to tell me elections don't matter, really? Well, then how come we got a Senate that's not going to pass a bill to control price gouging of gasoline? Democrats wrote the legislation. Democrats passed the legislation in Congress. Now it's at the Senate languishing because we don't have enough Democratic senators. That's just a fact.
And it's not the only thing sitting there that's just sitting there.
And by the way, Democrats make me sick too. They make me mad lots of times.
They get on my goddamn nerves, don't you, Denise?
But I tell you this, I find more people with morals there. I find more humanitarians there. I find more people who look like me there.
Mm-hmm.
And I find more people who come from an everyday life experience there. When I look at the Republicans, it's all old white men with very few exceptions who are wealthy and were wealthy when they got there. They don't understand my everyday experience.
They don't understand this struggle.
And they don't want to.
They don't want to.
They want to be elected because they want to retain power to keep making money.
David Weaver. I'm saying it again. Well, a Democrat wouldn't give a damn about, would not give a damn. I mean, a Republican would not give a damn about you and who you are. If you, this thing with Republicans, real quick, I want people to understand, especially people that are in a certain bracket, tax bracket and financial bracket. You are the lowest of the lowest. It doesn't matter what color, race, or anything that you are. I've heard people with money talk about, and I'm talking about white people. I've heard white people with money talk about poor white people worse than they talk about black people. Where do you think the word trailer trash came from? It wasn't for blacks, and it didn't come from us. It came from your own Republican Party. It didn't come from blacks. So all we're saying is it's time to adjust something. It's a time to adjust your thinking and move that thought. When you adjust that, put it into action and move. We need to clean house. Speaking of clean house, I'm finna make Denise say something. When we're cleaning this house, my Supreme Court feel looking real fishy and smelling right now. I smell fish and it ain't catfish. I'm smelling fish up in the Supreme Court. And right now, I ain't talking about no ragged ass, Amy Coney Barrett and all them. We'll deal with them later. This one is a black one. The fish is as black as he can be. And as stinking as he can be. And he still came in just like Kavanaugh and all of them, tainted. What are we going to do about Jenny?
She is very, very, very dangerous. You know, she had carte blanche access to Trump that she would make a list of who she suspected being an insider in the White House against him.
Are you serious?
And meet with, Stephanie Grisham, who was Ivanka Trump's personal assistant, executive assistant, chief of staff. She talked about how Ginny Thomas would come with her list and meet with Trump personally and tell him, these are the people who are really against you in the administration. You need to fire them. And then he'd be all in a huff by the time she left and start calling in the staff, look into this person, look into that person. They have to do all kinds of things to cover them so that that wouldn't happen. So those private meetings were very scary. She was, and who ever heard of a Supreme Court justice's wife or spouse going into the president's office like that? She paid for 5 bus loads of people to attend the January 6th coup. She was calling senators and state level senators and legislators, particularly in Arizona, to try to get them to, and emailing them like crazy, to reverse and not send the duly elected electors who were supposed to go to DC and instate Joe Biden as the president. But the worst of it is, because you could say, well, she's just a private citizen. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it would be better if she didn't do stuff like that. But no, when the Trump administration took their fight all the way to the Supreme Court to not have to release records related to January 6th, even this Supreme Court recognized history must be known and involvements must be known. Clarence Thomas was the only person who voted against those records being released. So don't tell me he ain't influenced by Paul Talk. Don't tell me she ain't telling him how to vote. She been telling him how to vote.
She did it because he stood alone. And at that time, we didn't know why. We really didn't. And I'm going to give you one, Denise. I found an old one. I put my girl on it. You know what I mean? I put my girl on it. I had Mari reach out and do some investigation. Did you know that Jenny, at one point when she was young and a year before she married Clarence Thomas, she had been in a cult. And they had her completely just caught up in that cult. And she had barely escaped it. And she came out talking against the cult and doing all of this stuff because of how she wanted young people, she said, to understand how you get pulled into the Stockholm Syndrome, into that syndrome. This was only just a matter of 11 months or so before she married Clarence Thomas. So my point of saying this is this is why they feel she was so taken on by the Proud Boys. You understand what I'm saying? And the MAGA movement, the cult-like thing about it. So you got to worry about her mentally. We're going to show the video. You got to work, because see, inside, my associate director found something that Inside Edition found, and they're trying to help you understand the mindset of this woman is crazy. So they're feeling like she went back to that mindset. See, when this happened, when you had the MAGA movement,
She has a susceptible personality.
Yes. And so she's like all in, hands in, all in every way, shape, form. We'll show it to you guys.
This just unearthed footage shows the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas talking about her past when she belonged to a notorious cult.
When you come away from a cult, you have to find a balance in your life as far as getting involved with fighting the cult or exposing it.
Jenny Thomas was speaking to a cult awareness group. The year was 1986, 1 year before she married Clarence Thomas. She tried to explain her struggle to escape the cult known as LifeSpring.
I want to expose LifeSpring. I want to keep other people from going through that experience.
Before dissolving in the mid-90s, LifeSpring was said to have 400,000 members. It was founded in 1974, claiming to help people gain self-confidence and control of their lives. But according to former members, some of their so-called exercises included having people disrobe and ridiculing their body fat. The eye-opening video was discovered by cult expert Stephen Hassan.
And I was asked to lead a support group meeting.
Thank you, that was great.
Hassan serves as moderator in the video.
She was horrified that she had gotten taken over and wanted to help others.
I guess I struggle with not going overboard in fighting the cults, but I know that's important too.
He says her background as a former cult member may explain her apparent interest in wild QAnon-inspired conspiracy theories and the January 6th movement to overturn the election. Others say Jenny Thomas and her husband are being targeted for political reasons.
The left is launching another disgusting campaign to silence Justice Clarence Thomas.
coming back. Whew, we were talking behind the scenes. We love to get our conversation on. And Denise, we were talking about how Denise couldn't believe how stoic she was during the Anita Hill hearings. Guys, you just saw. This is my thought of what I saw and what I was looking at. Clarence, you got some splaining to do. You went and married a fool. I don't know what you did. I just know that this don't look good. And the Supreme Court you just stanked up the house. The court is just stanked. Something got to happen. I don't know what can happen here because it's the Supreme Court. And unfortunately, I feel like we need more rules. But again, Denise, this still goes back, piggybacking off of what you said the last two shows. We are not stacking the court. We're making it. We're leveling it out. So something has to be done, because if you're not gonna to take him away and hold him accountable, because he was the only one, as he said, that voted for this, and none of us knew why at the time. We thought he was just an ignorant ass mother,fucker, like he's always been. Lord, he's always been. Y'all gotta help me here. I'm losing. That's why I got her to bring me back. You let me go too far this time, sis. You supposed to reel me back. You know, we talk about, it's a lot of people, some people we can talk about. And Clarence Thomas is one of them that gets my let me just Musa. I got to get pride about who I am and bring it back down. Come on, back down. You got to hold pride for your people now. They want us to be, we got to show them what we are. We're glamour, we sugar, spice, everything nice.
I think it's worth noting, because everyone used to talk about how, well, the talking heads used to talk about how when Antonin Scalia was alive, Clarence Thomas was his boy. So whichever way Antonin Scalia told him to go, that's the way he went. And when he died, that left a vacuum. And I think his wife stepped right in it and became, instead of a secondary influence of him on the bench, a primary influence. And the proof is in the pudding, because he knew when those records got released that her multiple calls and emails to Mark Meadows, the chief of staff to President Trump, where she kept telling Mark Meadows, hold the line. Don't let this phony election get ratified. Don't keep, whatever you got to do it to keep Trump president. She was obsessed. I have such a hard time. Understanding why people of intelligence support Trump. The people of intelligence that I know that did support him, they said things like, well, he was good for my taxes. But at what cost? At the cost of America? Really?
Yeah.
America. You know, there was a statistic on the news today that 1 out of 7 Republicans believe in the replacement theory. And the replacement theory is that there's some major conspiracy going on to eliminate white people and replace them with people of color in positions of authority and power. And they are terrified that they're about to lose their control over society. Those people in the van wanting to disrupt the Pride Parade, if it was the shame parade, they'd be fine with it.
Yeah. It would have been.
Like, let's pray on the concrete till our knees bleed, because they're crazy. But because it was pride, because it was, I'm an American and I'm a human being and I'm entitled to everything this country has to offer, and love is love, that freaks them out. Kamala Harris sitting in the White House freaks them out. Obama freaks them out. Ketanji Brown freaks them out. There are more of us than them, but we cannot be asleep at the wheel. We can't say it don't matter. It matters. 19 black judges just got appointed by Biden in Texas. It matters.
It matters.
How many black judges did Trump appoint?
Oh, 44 and a half. I don't think he appointed any, but the ones that he did, look at the mess they've made.
So we always come full circle to this. Your vote matters. Inform yourself. There's things people are pinning on Biden that he literally has no control over, and where we could assert some control. Like gas prices, we are blocked by Republicans and in the Senate and Democrats who support the Republicans because they won't kill that damn filibuster on any level.
Why though? Why in the freak won't we do it?
Well, the excuse, because that's all it is. See, I look at what they want to pass. I got to go back a little bit. The reason why they fought so hard against Obamacare was because they knew once we got it, they couldn't take it away. They tried, and they failed. And they lost elections because of it. Okay. So why? Because once those laws get, their fear is, well, you do a filibuster and then you do a bunch of laws and then we win the elections because the cycles happen. Sooner or later, we'll be back in the majority and then we reverse everything. And then you get elected and then we put it back. And then we get elected and then we reverse it. They want to stop that kind of ping pong. But I'm like, ping that pong.
Ping that pong.
Ping that pong and let's have an election about whether or not that law should stay in place. Ping it. Because if you recall, in 2016, what they ran on was Obamacare. They ran on health care. And that's how they flipped the Congress. So ping that pong. Let's go. Let's get some real gun reform in there. Let's get some real prison reform in there.
Hey, we've always said somebody's always listening. So let me tell you something, Senate, President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris. Let's play a little ping pong. Don't put the paddles away and the ball, let it just sit there. I hate looking at an empty ass table that ain't nobody playing it. Let me see some ping pong.
They took the pressure for a while there. They were applying a lot of pressure on Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. They were showing how his people were going on rowboats out to the boat he lives on in DC, in Virginia, begging him to vote a certain way, which he did not. But I think what we really need is a full court press in West Virginia. As you know, I know quite a few people in West Virginia. And they support Manchin, and he's the only Democrat they support. But I believe if we put enough people there, if we targeted that and put enough people there to knock on doors and have those conversations and really inform people, I believe he could be replaced with another Democrat. But again, it's that whole group of apathetic, it don't make a difference, I ain't never voted before and I ain't starting now, because they don't see that they don't have health care because of this. They don't see that they don't have the internet because of it. They don't see that, they don't have decent roadways because of this. They don't see Joe Manchin sitting in there and not delivering jack.
That's the thing. Y'all have them in here and you don't understand that they're not doing anything for you. Anything.
But it's just like Johnson said. Johnson said, if you can convince a white man that he's better than a black man, he'll follow you anywhere. And that's all he got to do is keep strumming that song. Keep hitting that song.
Speaking of that, in election and voting.
The same people I hate, I'm voting for you. That's how ignorant it is.
But see, the ignorance is really on them. The thing about it that white America, I want you to understand, black people have always struggled. Even the ones that have made it and that are rich, they know, and somewhere deep inside them, they remember the struggle. And we are survivors by nature. You, on the other hand, can't even begin to know how. Not in the way where there's education and things involved. You guys are voting for the wrong reasons right now. You're voting on hate.
And fear.
Yeah. And the fear is what's stirring up the hate even more. And you're getting nowhere. And you're staying in the same place. You're waking up in the same space, same spot with the same shit. You're seeing the same thing every day. Day after day, month after month, year after year. When do you really want the change to take place? And the only way it's going to do that is when you stop voting on fear and hate and vote on what your home and your family needs. And is that senator, that governor, that mayor, that city councilman, are they doing these things that your town needs, your city needs, you need? Health care. Y'all didn't even know, didn't even realize Obamacare was the Affordable Health Care Act. Damn. That's for Evans. I had to let her out.
You know, and I want to tell the local state Democratic parties, you have to select exciting people. These people that have been around since dirt, you know, who now they think it's their turn. They may be really well qualified and sophisticated. Then let them mentor the next ones coming up, who are young and younger and exciting and vibrant and full of out-the-box ideas. You know, nothing excites me more than to hear someone in their 30s or early 40s talking about stuff that is totally like, whoa, I hadn't thought about it like that. I hadn't thought of that solution. We need new solutions to old problems. When Obama came along, he had a new solution to an old problem: lack of access to health care. We need young 21st century thinkers who are vibrant and passionate and clear the table. Clear the table. People aren't excited because they've been hearing the same voices for decades.
But what I don't get, you and I see that. We see it in everything we do, even in the show we do now. We were sitting down today talking with young guys. We were talking with a young guy that's gonna that is added to our team as a creative content creator. And one thing that we loved about Jason is the youthfulness and the ability for us to cross the lines, because we understand that it's easy to reach us. Our analytics and everything shows that that's happening. But our numbers are not bad with young people. But if you want things to get better, you have to be able to cross this line, and we have to be willing to step back and take what information he's giving or they're giving us that's going to feed, because again, we want to be mentors in what we do. And all Denise is saying is that it really, you said something when you and I worked together at one point before we even started doing this. So our history goes back further than here. But I remember you making a statement that there should be a limit for a Senate seat. As far as like with the president, why in the hell the president gets 2 elections, but the Senate can go on and on and on and on and on? That don't even compute.
Chigette, I did some research about how, because a lot of the problem is we don't have term limits at the federal level. And to have term limits at the federal level, which means Congress and the Senate, 2/3 of the Congress and 2/3 of the Senate would have to vote it in. And then 3/4 of the United States would have to ratify it. That would be a very long, arduous process. I think once it got to the states, I think people understand the corruption lies in the fact that we don't have term limits. People, because I used to say, term limits, get out of here. Don't tell me I can't vote for who I want. But now I've matured and seen the corruption that happens. when you don't have term limits. And so 3/4 of the United States would have to ratify it. It would not be an overnight thing. And it'd be very interesting to see people running on a ticket saying, I want to go to Washington and fight for term limits. Definitely we need campaign finance reform. All of these things that feed corruption. For a long time, I was mad at Cory Booker. He won me back.
I was too.
Well, he was taking money from the pharmaceuticals.
He was. I remember that.
When it came up to reduce the cost of prescription drugs, he had some BS excuse why he voted against it. Then he cut off taking money from pharmaceuticals and voted for it. So I see even in the best of them, with that advisor in your ear about, Cory, New Jersey, you need a lot of money to win. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it. You won't be the only one. But he found his principles and morals again and got rid of supporting them. So we need to start a crescendo of voices. When you say someone's always listening, mm-hmm. Need to start those voices. Who's running on campaign finance reform? Who's running on term limits? Who's making that the centerpiece of, you talk about you want to change the way business is done in Washington? That's the way business is done. Run on that. And everything else will flow.
I love it. And then with what you're talking about, the last thing we're going to touch on before we get to Brittany Griner is we're definitely going to talk about the primaries that we just had. And that those primaries covered, my understanding was California plus 6 more states. We have a short video on that, but most importantly, the other thing about it for me, I'm going to show the video, but I want Denise and I to talk about California because, again, we definitely always want to talk about the community. And I'm not feeling the mayor. I'm not feeling Caruso, so we'll be right back.
Now, the November midterm ballots are taking shape this morning as primary election results from California and 6 other states come in. NBC News senior political editor Mark Murray has been following it for us, and he joins us now. Hey, Mark, good morning. So one of the most watched elections, it actually wasn't a primary, it was a recall vote. This was in San Francisco, the district attorney. What can you tell us about that?
The district attorney, Chesa Boudin, got recalled overwhelmingly by a 60% to 40% margin. In Savannah, what is notable about this contest is if you take it in isolation, you have one city district attorney getting recalled in the California election. You could say, hey, this is just a one election. But this comes after multiple members of San Francisco's school board ended up also getting recalled. And you can kind of take these two developments together as some frustrations of a lot of reforms, whether on schooling or on crime and how a city handles crime. And voters are getting frustrated about their own governance, including and especially in cities like San Francisco.
Let's stay in California. Now I actually want to ask you about this expensive race for Los Angeles mayor. This is one that a lot of people are talking about. Representative Karen Bass, billionaire developer Rick Caruso came in for the top 2. That means that they're going to meet for a runoff in the fall. But what can you tell us about this race, these 2 campaigns? Tell us what's interesting here.
Yeah, what's really interesting is Rick Caruso. He's a former Republican turned Democrat who ended up spending nearly $40 million to be able to get to this runoff election. And he is, and this kind of has some similarities to what we saw in San Francisco, he's been running against the homelessness in the city, on the rampant crime there. Karen Bass comes from the Democratic establishment of the Democratic Party. She was one of Joe Biden's vice presidential shortlisters. And this sets up a really fascinating general election runoff that we're going to end up seeing. And Savannah, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to end up seeing a lot of Karen Bass trying to litigate Rick Caruso's former Republican ties.
Yeah, former Republican until quite recently, just before jumping into this race. So that is certainly an interesting one to watch. Now I want to switch over to Iowa. So we kind of saw something of an upset in the Democratic race for Senate here. We had retired Admiral Mike Franken beat former Representative Abby Finkenauer. He'll now face incumbent Chuck Grassley, who handedly won the GOP nomination back in November. But what should we know about this race?
Yeah. And so, Savannah, you are right that I think it's a slight surprise to a lot of people who followed politics, and particularly when Abby Finkenauer ended up getting elected in 2018 in that Democratic wave year. She had become kind of a well-known person from the Joe Biden wing of the Democratic Party. She ended up losing re-election in 2020. And it wasn't really that much of a surprise to me, however, because Franken ended up outspending her over the airways and ended up running, frankly, the better campaign. And Franken now will run against Chuck Grassley in the fall. Grassley, the Republican, longtime Republican senator, should be the overwhelming favorite, not only in a state like Iowa, which has been leaning Democratic over the last few years, but also in a national environment which heavily favors the Republicans right now.
Whew. Guys, Karen Bass. Lena, can I slide off a little bit for a minute? I'm gonna come back. Karen. Now my understanding is you do a lot better, and I do know that we have a mail-in ballots and a lot of things still coming in. But in general, this man should not even be leading you. Even if you win, and even if you're ahead of him, and you're ahead of him by 5,000 votes or 700 votes. I don't know if it's the lack of people showing up to vote, but in retrospect, this is just me. I think you should already be talking. Because see, when someone's talking, if no one else is saying nothing, they're the voice, it's the only voice that's being heard. And if nothing else, there's such thing as programming. This is what we talk about. We talk about culture, this, that, and other. It's a matter of something says so much in your ear, even when you don't want to hear it, you hear it. We need something to deflect that. This man is a freaking and it ain't about the Republican Party. It's about, for him, you are trying to fool us. Your values and your ways have not changed in a matter of a year or a month. You want to, he wants to win. He wants to win.
Caruso.
Yeah, Caruso. He wants to win. He knows what he's doing. He feels like he can win as a Democrat because California is a Democratic state. And then he keeps saying, I want to build up. And I've heard you've done quite a few things. So I've talked to some people, and people are saying that, I know that you, in certain areas, you've built up the Walmarts in different places. You've done some things in certain areas where everything is really nice. Certain cities are looking good. And I think the Grove you had something to do with and all of this. And I understand all that. But if you want to do something for a community or for a city, you don't have to be a mayor to do it. You're already a billionaire. If you want to help and save the homeless, why haven't you? Why haven't you? Why is it the carrot, the dangling carrot? Give me the vote, I'll give them the houses. Maya said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Not second, third, fourth, fifth. The first time he was a Republican. This time he is a Republican. A Republican under a Democratic ticket. His values of what he's going to do as the mayor of LA is going to be under the Republican Party. The ways, the values, that does not change. California, wake up and smell the Starbucks.
You got me with that.
Yeah.
The joke is, he previously contributed to Karen Bass's congressional campaigns. That's number one. I heard Karen Bass talking this morning, and she understands that the issues that need to be addressed, primary above all, is crime and homelessness. Actually, she used the term called unhoused, the unhoused. And she has a plan, and she articulated her plan. She said, we need to understand who's homeless because of mental health, who's homeless because of economics, who's homeless because of drug addiction. And we need to create services to help. We need temporary and transitional housing. I mean, she articulated her plan, but what were you waiting for, girl? Me and Dionne, we want to support you, but you're not giving us no ammunition. That was the thing. I'm going to just say this. This is what I meant when I was talking about old school. One of the things that irritated me about Hillary was they would come at her and she did not have a rapid fire response. Must be a junkyard dog when you're going to win an election in a city like this. There can't be no one who barks at you that you don't bark louder and harder and faster, because we will respect that. While you're sitting back saying, my people know my track record. No, they don't.
No. And they did, they short-minded. I forgot yesterday what happened.
The song is What Have You Done For Me Lately? This is LA. This is LA. Stuff is jumping every day. You think someone other than your hardcore supporters know what you've done or even recall it? The answer is no. No. I'm a political junkie, and I can't tell you 5 things you've done. I know in Congress, you supported the money coming here during the pandemic to stop people from being evicted from their homes. I know Congress did things during the pandemic, and as a part of Congress, you voted for that. I know that at one point you were the head of the Congressional Black Caucus, which made you a real mover and shaker. But now we're local. So you need to be visible.
And vocal.
And vocal and responding. Where is your rapid fire response? Where is your 30 and 40 something year olders who know how to play that game? Because I feel like you got a bunch of old people around you. I don't feel youthful energy in your campaign. And LA is a young people town even when you old.
It is. You gotta be young. You gotta have your tap dancing shoes on.
You gotta be like this. Because we want to support you. We don't want Rick Caruso.
That's why I'm talking about his ass. I don't give a damn if you a billionaire. I ain't seen a dime of it. You couldn't offer me a dime.
And I'm insulted when he shows his endorsements. Like, really? Really? Guess what? Karen got a whole long list of endorsements too, including Magic Johnson. Come on now. I don't even want to talk about it.
I mean, but he didn't show me any star quality, but Snoop Dogg and Snoop may have been high that day. Let's keep it real.
She got a truckload of star endorsements, but that insults me. This is LA. I can see a celebrity going to the bowling alley. I've seen them there.
That's what I'm saying.
I've seen them at the diners. That don't impress me. Try that somewhere else. What I want to know is, will you understand you must respond? That you can't have people laying out there that you're corrupt and in cahoots with Mark Ridley Thomas, who I can't stand personally, but that's my shit. Pardon my French. You can't have that out there and not address it. I know no charges were brought against you. Then you need to say that.
You need to say that. And you need to tell them that
Don't expect us to vote for you just because you're black and a woman. That's insulting. Fight for my vote. Win my vote. Fight for my community's vote. Win our vote.
But if you can't show me that you have a fight in you, I'm worried. Because, see, you want to be mayor.
Why are you running? Because she's not running for Congress anymore. She said she was running because how could she feel comfortable fighting on a national scale when she sees how her hometown is deteriorating?
Where you at?
Okay.
Where you at, Karen? Come on. And this is us. We're being real. We were already in support of you. But I was waiting on all the bells and whistles, everything that comes with the Karen Bass I've heard about.
Who, by the way, is brilliant. Brilliant. There's no question about it. And for the record, Rick Caruso spent $40 million to her $3 million. And he has nothing to show for it but being 1.7% ahead. That means he got 1 percentage point for every $1 million he spent.
Wow. That also means if she had just opened her mouth and had those comebacks you talking about, he would have wasted his damn money.
I hope it's not too late. But I tell you this, you felt like Rick Caruso has a fire in his belly for this position. I don't feel like up till now she's had that fire in her belly.
No, I felt like somebody pushing her to do this and it ain't what she really want to do. That part right there. And trust me, if I'm saying it, I'm feeling it, then that's what you're showing me. And if I'm just one person, and I'm for you. So if you got anybody that's on the fence, you in trouble.
Yeah, because I feel like most of the people who voted for her did it out of loyalty. Now they want to see what you bringing to the table.
What you bring to the table. Guys, we are really enjoying ourselves, but we got to also remember right now, as we told you about the voting, we have Karen Bass, get on your goddamn job. I'm going to say that again before we finish. I need your ass to be mayor. Don't be disappointing me, because I'll be talking my ass out for a long damn time about this. Don't make it. I want no disappointment. I want your ass to be mayor. Anyway, and Caruso,
go away.
Or take some of that damn money and build some houses and help some homeless people regardless. Don't come at us with no dangling ass carrot like we just damn dumb me stupid. Come on now. Money don't buy brains. Shit. Anyway, listen. Guys, back to the voting. You already saw the primaries, what went on with those primaries. But most importantly, keep in mind, everything that we have talked about comes right back down to voting. Comes down to that. If we want control of this Senate, we have got to support, send money, and make sure that Warnock is taken care of. He has to keep his seat in Georgia. I'm already feeling good with Georgia right now, and I'm feeling pretty damn good about it. But I still want to make sure that, guys, all you got to do is go on that site and start donating money. Right now, Val Demings needs you. I see Rubio. I want him going fishing. I want that ass fishing somewhere. He's time to go, Rubio. It's time to go. And Val is just the one, guys. Go on her site. Somebody's always watching. We're for you guys, Val. Warnock, Stacey Abrams, I want you to be governor down there in Georgia. They need that leadership. I want you to keep leading. And Beto O'Rourke, if you never had me, you got me you got me like a little bitch when you went up there. When you went in, and I'm hard, Denise will tell you. But when you stood there and you told that man, this is all on you. I was beta. That was some back in the day Compton NWA shit you did. Boy, that was some strong stuff that you pulled. And that's what Denise was talking about when we were just mentioning our girl Karen Bass. That's what she's saying, your smooth, your strong comeback, your fearlessness. People are not going to forget what you did, Beta. And right now, Beta, I want everybody thinking about O'Rourke and send that man some money. Just alone on the strength he carried that day, he ruffled some feathers. Don't stop, O'Rourke. Don't you stop. Keep pushing. So these people, Stacey Abrams, Val Demings, Warnock, Karen Bass and all, they're gonna need our support and our help and donations. Karen, just start talking. You know what to say. This is not the over. This is you're riding a bike. This ain't even. You got this. Just open your mouth. Oh, you looking at if it is the money that you're looking at, don't worry about that. We're California. This is what California is. Glitter and shine. Glitter and shine get you every time.
I sent you a picture when I met her, and we spoke, and I'm really confused because she's such a woman of caring and passion. I just think, just like with Hillary, she got some bad advisors. She ain't playing it right, but she's got to start playing it right. She's got to start playing it.
Well, Karen, you're going to have to clean house, or you're going to have to put your foot down, because you see what happened with Hillary, and you see what happened to. Put it like this, California, y'all better speak up, LA, because y'all see what happened to us when Hillary didn't open her damn mouth. You see what we got, what the country got. Right. So it's time for LA to speak out and say, Karen, we need to hear what you really thinking and everything. Right. And to stop being quiet. Step in strength and courage and be again, get his ass and send him back where he needs to be, building and stuff. Take his ass and go back down to the Grove and do some more work down there. Hell, get him away from me. I'm not feeling him. You want to do, damn it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about what you're going to do. And guys, before we leave out of here, Brittany Griner. Those days are still going by.
Yep. She's been arrested since February 17th.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Biden, Kamala. Guys, what are y'all doing? This girl does not need to be there. This was not her assignment.
Right.
Tell us something. Yeah, do you? Oh, hell yeah. People need to know what's going on with this young lady. Because like her wife said something. We showed the interview last week. And her wife said something that was profound. She said, I don't even know who I'm going to get back.
That's right.
And that stuck with me. Every day, you don't know what they're doing to this woman who is a gay woman.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
So we got to get her out of there. We got to.
And Make Trouble Nation, if you haven't called your elected official, even the ones who you know support her, don't assume anything. Call Maxine, call Karen, call your people and say, I'm concerned. What is your office? What is your position? What are you doing? I know there's a lot going on, but this is one important human life we need to pay attention to, period. Because if we don't keep it alive, nobody's going to do it for us. I'm just saying.
If you want to get in good trouble, make some trouble. Call them.
That's good trouble. It don't cost nothing to make the phone call. Just a minute at a time. I've called. I'll call again.
And if y'all don't do anything else, just call and say, we want Brittany home, and hang up. And we're going to keep calling until we shut the airwaves down, until we shut your phone lines down, that we want Brittany home. We want Brittany home. We want Brittany home.
Dionne, next week, let's make sure we have those 800 numbers that people can call.
We'll have them. We're going to have numbers that you guys can call for each state. And each, that's very easy. We're going to have them. They're going to be scrolling at the bottom all the way through the show so that you can rewind, do whatever, and get the number for your state. And matter of fact, I'll put it up in line because I know people like to see things where they can clearly see it. And that way, if you miss it, you can go back and rewind and make sure that you see it. So guys, we want you to get out and vote. Do not, and we do this always. And as we end the show, I did a video for Brittany last week, and my wife was like, oh my God, that was beautiful. And it was a Stephanie Mills rendition of Home that had Brittany incorporated in it. I'm going to show that video again. I'm going to try to show it every month now until she comes home. Why? Because we took this on, Denise and I, and we know we did it from the very beginning. And we're going to walk this all the way through her getting home and after.
Yeah, we said we would talk about her every week until she's home if nobody else is talking
about her. If nobody else. And
we were talking about her when nobody was talking
about her.
That's
and
right.
We were calling out the Rollins and Robin and everybody. And I thank the ones that have been making a motion doing it. And I still want to hear more about it. I have yet to hear, but it's okay if I missed it. Roland say anything. Roland may say, because he's a quick comeback son of a gun too. Like, I'll do this, and that's not about that. This is all in love. It is showing a solidarity together as one, as a people. All of us saying nothing about her sexuality or anything. Her humanity, the humanity of her being a human being, a woman.
An American who didn't belong there, who they don't have a date and time stamp on that video.
And don't have a time of when they're going to let this child come home who has done nothing that they can prove. And now it is being unlawfully held. It's against the law what they're doing to her now. The president has said it.
Our own State Department has said it.
Look,
this ain't right.
This ain't right. So all we're saying is every person that has a microphone and a voice and a platform, speak to get this young lady home. Thank you, LeBron James, for the call that you made and for what you're doing. Do this. It's going to take us all to get this baby home, this woman home to her family. And I understand anger. We understand anger. Denise and I understand it. Like she said, we get mad at our own damn party sometimes. Hell, we get mad at each other some goddamn time. But at the end of the day, we know what the fight is about and what it's about. And we stick to the motto that we read to you guys. I want to say your asses, but okay. But we read to you wonderful people, as Ms. Lena would say, and I'm going to say this so we can get out, because Lena giving me that look. And the one thing they said about Lena Horne was a lady, and a lady knew when to leave. So I'm going to make sure she enters out as gracefully as she came in. It's okay to be angry. You should be angry. You must not be bitter. And Denise, I have a problem with that sometimes. I get a little bitter, but I'm working on it. But bitterness is like a cancer. It eats upon the host. It doesn't do anything to the object of its displeasure. So use that anger. You write it. You paint it. You dance it. You march it. You march it. You march it. I'm saying march because we got so many things we need to be marching about. You march it. And in my mind, when Maya was writing this, these are some of the things she was really wanting to say long time. You know what I mean? You voted, you voted, you voted, you voted, you voted. You do everything about it. You talk it, and you never, ever stop talking about it. In order for change to occur, you have to take that anger before you let it be bitterness. That's why some of you guys aren't voting. You've gotten bitter. Get out and march. Scream, shout. See how I feel. I bet it feel good to you. I bet it feel liberating. Talk it. Tell somebody to tell you they sick of hearing about it, then find another person. Then do something you probably ain't done in a while. For you that haven't. Go to the polls in November and vote it. And just tell me how it felt. I'm challenging you, if you've never ever voted, to this one time register. Study the parties. Look at your Democratic Party. Look at things that have done, how the changes occur when it switches from Republican to Democrat. All of that. And do something you've never done. Register and say, you know what? I'm going to vote this time. And let us know how that feels. Let us know. Because you're reaping the benefits of the people that are going to vote. Are they not, Denise? Okay. So, guys, we're going to go on out of here as we do. And we're going to go out with honoring Pride Month, and we're going to go out honoring Brittany Griner. As we always said, someone's always listening. Thank you again, LeBron James, for that call out. Get her home. She's been gone since when? How long? February 7th?
17th.
February 17th. 17th. We are in June. Do you understand what we're saying? Get the baby home. Guys, we've had a great time, as we always do, and we do this in the honor of the great John Lewis. We can never thank him enough. I don't think we're doing enough. That's why we do more, and we're going to do more, because we want to make sure that you, our people, are ready to get in good trouble. And if you are ready, we only ask you one question. And we do. If you want to get in good trouble, we just ask, can you handle the trouble? Because if you can, here's where you need to be. And one last time, we need you to go to the YouTube TV. Go to YouTube and go to I'm Just Saying TV. I'm Just Saying TV. And Denise wants you to subscribe. I want you to subscribe. Our team wants you to subscribe, and you need to subscribe. Then we want you to like it. Hit the notification button. Make a comment. And show some love by sharing it.
Make a comment. Your comment can be proud member of the Good Trouble Nation.
Did y'all hear her? I want to be, or I am now, you consider yourself a proud member. Because that's a good nation to be a part of, a nation that's getting in good trouble.
That's right.
All right, my queen.
Okay, the partner.
We out. Hey, I got my bow tie. Thank you, Lena.
Thank you, darling. Talk to you soon.
We will be talking. We will be back, guys. You guys have a blessed one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The day I finally get to look at the man that I love and finally say, will you please marry me?
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain, I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned, starting right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song, and I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep, say I'm in too deep. It's been 2 years, I miss my home, but there's a fire burning in my bones. Yeah, I still believe. Yeah, I still believe. And all those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain, I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned, starting right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song, and I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. And like how a single word can make a heart open, I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned, starting right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song, and I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. 'Cause I still got a lot of fight left in me.
When I think of home, I think of a resting place. A place where there's peace, quiet, and serenity. A journey I'll never forget. When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. When that makes the tall grass bend into leaves, suddenly the raindrops that fall, they have a name, sprinkling the sea, makes it all clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back now that I have some direction. It sure would be nice to be back at home where there's love and affection. And just maybe I can convince time to slow up, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time, come on. But you know what? Sin be my word, bound and changed its face. But I still know where I'm going. I have had my mind spun around in space. Yet I watched it growing. And oh, if you're listening, God, please don't make it hard to know if we should believe the things that we see. Just should we try and stay, or should we run away? Or would it better just to let things left to be? Living here in this brand new world might be a fantasy. But it taught me love, oh yes. So it's real, it's so real, it's real to me. That we must look inside our hearts to find a world full of love like yours, like when I think of smiling down on me, giving me their energy. When I think of peaceful world and joy all around me. That we share can never be taken away from me. When I think of I just sit and I think it gets all down in my bones. When I think of I can hear my spirits telling me, what do they say, y'all? They say, what? Stephanie, please sing my song. When I think of I wanna sing, I wanna shout, I wanna tell you what my heart is all about. When I think of when
Hey, hey,